Hi dear students, in the previous session we discussed about phylum Porifera. In today's session we are going to discuss about the next phyla called as Coelenterata. So here Coelenterate is a older name and these all again called as Cnidarians because of the presence of special properties and the special type of cells to perform a defense. Okay, so on this basis we again named them as a Cnidarians. So here we are going to discuss about the Coelenterates. And these are again called as Cnidarians. Coelenterates are Cnidarians. First we will look at the general properties and later on we will go through the unique properties. As in case of lower organisms and these habitat of these organisms where they live is completely aquatic and are majority marine. They are majority marine, living in seas and oceans. Living in seas and oceans. So here only one freshwater coelenterate is there. Only one freshwater coelenterate is there and that is Hydra. Only one freshwater coelenterate or Cnidarian is Hydra. And these organisms are exhibiting the presence of two wall layers. So that's why these are commonly called as diploblastic animals. These are diploblastic animals because they possess only ecto and endoderm. So that's why these are commonly called as diploblastic. Due to the absence of mesodermal germ layer, that body cavity formation germ layer, these are called as acoelomates. And they possess a non-cellular component called as mesoglia and are absent with mesoderm germ layer. When it comes to their digestive system and the digestion, it is again of Holozoic type of nutrition, where they possess nutrition and where they possess both intracellular and extracellular digestion. Intra and extracellular digestion. The process of digestion takes place inside the body by the secretion of some of the juices and it is called as intracellular, and also it may take place outside the body. So that's why it is called both intracellular and extracellular type of digestion. And come to the nervous system, and when come to the nervous system, they possess a diffused type of nervous system. Nervous system is diffused with few primitive nerve cells. System is diffused with primitive nerve cells. ಪ್ರಿಮಿಟಿವ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಆಗಷ್ಟೇ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋವು, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟೀಸ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅ ಕಂಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆರ್ ಇಂಪಲ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ primitive nerve cells. Nerve cells will be there. And when come to the respiration, respiratory system, and also excretion, it takes place by body surface or general body surface and forms through simple diffusion. As the presence of higher concentration of waste material in the interior of the body, it makes the easy movement due to the presence of permeability to the plasma membrane, which is a outermost protective layer in the animal cell. It forms a simple diffusion. Here the plasma membrane acts as a permeable membrane for the easy flow of waste material from its higher concentration region to lower concentration region. It will takes place. So here, as in case of respiratory system, the gaseous molecules concentration which has formed inside the body, that is carbon dioxide, will be more in the interior of the body, and carbon dioxide will be eliminated through general body surface, and the oxygen will be entered to the system through diffusion process air itself, right. So as in case of respiratory system and the excretion process, it takes place through body surface by simple diffusion. And when it comes to the symmetry of the body, we will observe the both radial and bilateral symmetry. I will show you how the radial and bilateral symmetry will be there. Radial and bilateral symmetry will be there. Few of the organisms exhibit bilateral symmetry and few will exhibit the radial symmetry. So that's why both the type of symmetry will be there, radial and bilateral symmetry. Symmetry will be there. Example we will discuss in the next few minutes. And coming to the developmental process and the reproduction. In case of this, development takes place both by direct and indirect method. Development of an organism is both by direct and indirect method. Direct and indirect method. In case of direct method, from egg to a new individual, parental type of individual will be formed immediately, and there is no intermediate stages, and is called as direct development. But when come to the indirect development, one of the intermediate stage is going to be formed, and that is called as planula stage. A larval stage called as planula, and this is a larval stage. This is a larval stage. Okay. So when it comes to the fertilization process, fertilization takes place inside the body. Fertilization takes place inside the body, so that fertilization is internal. And few organisms exhibit proto-cooperation with the insects. Proto-cooperation with insect. As in case of animals and plants, they forms a mutual understanding between the other organisms. In case of plants, we said that as a symbiotic association. So there is a mutual understanding between the partners involved. ಒಂದು ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ, ಬಯಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಇಬ್ಬರು ಇರ್ತಾರೋ ಅವರಿಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಮ್ಯೂಚುವಲ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ symbiotic association. It is present in case of both animals and plants, and when it comes to plants, that is you can give best example as a nitrogen fixation. But when come to the animals, there will be a mutualism. It is considered as a mutualism or proto-cooperation. It will be present between C anemone of coelenterate, C anemone. So this is one of the cnidarian or the coelenterate. So this is coelenterate organism, one partner, and with another partner, that is hermit crab. Hermit crab, which is living inside the water body, and it is also called water insect. It is commonly called as water insect and is hermit crab. This forms a mutual understanding between a sea anemone and the hermit crab, and that type of cooperation is called as proto-cooperation, which is present in the coelenterate. This is a special property of coelenterate, right? So we discussed about the few general properties, and again we will move towards the special or unique properties which are only present in case of coelenterates. So here the process of reproduction, takes place both by sexual and asexual method. First we will say that sexual method of reproduction, and later asexual method of reproduction. So in case of sexual method of reproduction, it takes place by gamete formation. In case of asexual method, it is by budding. An extra growth which takes place on the lateral side of an organism, which makes the process of asexual reproduction called as budding. I will show you how the budding process will occur. But here one special property, in case of these organisms, there will be a presence of both male and female gametes within one individual. ಒಂದೇ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ಲಿ both male and female gametes will be present ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. So the individual which possess both male and female gametes in one, and that type of organisms are called as monoecious organisms. Monoecious ಅಂದರೆ single organism which contain both the sexes. That means both male and female gamete bearing structures will be there, and those type of organisms are called as monoecious and are said to be hermaphrodites. So these hermaphrodites possess both male and female characters in a single individual, and that's why there will be a development of either the androecium part or the gynoecium part. That means whether it may be testes are going to be developed first, or otherwise ovaries are going to be developed first. So on this basis you can find the two different distinct properties and are called as protandry and protogyny. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಫಸ್ಟು ಜನರಲ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿರೋದನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. There will be a developmental process occurs. That means first development is either male sex character or maybe female sex character will take place. Take for example, for the first time if the female will get developed, and in this situation in the second time male is going to get developed, or on the other hand first the male is going to get developed and soon after this second condition female is going to developed next ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಆಯಿತಾ. ಇಫ್ ದ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಡ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ and that condition is called as protogyny. Protogyny or otherwise if the male property bearing structure is going to develop first and is called as protandry. First female development is called as protogyny, later the male is going to be developed, or otherwise first male is going to be developed and is called as protandry. Pro ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್, ಆಂಡ್ರಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಆಂಡ್ರೀಷಿಯಮ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಮೇಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ protandry. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ these coelenterate always protogyny process will occurs. Protogyny process will occurs and later the protandry process. So that's why first female structures which are developed will reaches to the older males and then forms fusion to become fertilization or fertilized, and later there will be a development of new individuals. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೇ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಜೂನ್ ಮಂತಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸೀಲೆಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಓಕೆನಾ. ಜುಲೈ ಅಥವಾ ಸೆಪ್ಟೆಂಬರ್ ಮಂತಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸೀಲೆಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಲೋಯರ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸಿಂದ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಮೇ ಬಿ 15 ಡೇಸು 1 ವೀಕ್ ಟೈಮು ಸಾಕು, ಓಕೆನಾ. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ತೊಗೊಳ್ತಿರೋ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲಲ್ಲಿ ಎ ಜೂನ್ ಮಂತಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾರ್ನ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಅಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸೀಲೆಂಟರೇಟ್, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಅದು ಸೆಪ್ಟೆಂಬರ್ ಮಂತಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾರ್ನ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಅಂಥ ಸೀಲೆಂಟ್ರೇಟ್. ಈಗ ಪ್ರೋಟೋಗೈನಿ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಪ್ರೋಟೋಗೈನಿ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗೋದು ಓವರೀಸ್, ಓಕೆನಾ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಜೂನ್ ಮಂತ್ ಬಾರ್ನ್ ಸೀಲೆಂಟರೇಟ್ there will be a protogyny process occurred. Keep it in mind, this is enough. Later in the September month born coelenterate, in the October month protogyny process will occurs. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಸೆಪ್ಟೆಂಬರ್ ಮಂತಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಅಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸೀಲೆಂಟರೇಟು ಅಕ್ಟೋಬರ್ ಮಂತಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೋಟೋಗೈನಿ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸಿಬಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಆದರೆ ಜೂನ್ ಮಂತಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಅಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸೀಲೆಂಟ್ರೇಟು ಜುಲೈ ಮಂತಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೋಟೋಗೈನಿನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಓಕೆನಾ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟು ಪ್ರೋಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ರಿ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ, ಅದು ಯಾವಾಗ? ಆಗಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ. ಸೊ ಆಗಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೋಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ರಿ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅಂದರೆ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬೀನ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಗಸ್ಟ್ ಮಂತಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟಾಗಿ ಸೆಪ್ಟೆಂಬರ್ ಮಂತಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾರ್ನ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಅಂಥ ಸೀಲೆಂಟ್ರೇಟು ಅಕ್ಟೋಬರ್ ಮಂತಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೋಟೋಗೈನಿ ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಈ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಬಂದು ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಇಂದ್ಲದೇನು ಕತೆ ಹಾಗಾದರೆ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜೂನ್ ಮಂತಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸೀಲೆಂಟ್ರೇಟು ಜುಲೈ ಮಂತಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೋಟೋಗೈನಿ ಆಗಿರ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಇನ್ಯಾವುದೋ ಸೀಲೆಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಜೊತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಸಿಂದ ಬರೋ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ಸ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು ಇವೆರಡರ ನಡುವೆ. ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ದ ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ that forms the reproduction with the older coelentrates, where the protandry has been occurred previously and that has been taken place after the protogyny process of itself. ಅದರದೇ ಪ್ರೋಟೋಗೈನಿ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬಂದಿರೋ ಪ್ರೋಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ರಿಯಿಂದ ಈಗಷ್ಟೇ ಪ್ರೋಟೋಗೈನಿ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಒಂದು ಸೀಲೆಂಟ್ರೇಟು ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ಸ್ನ ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ದ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ. ಸೊ ಈ ಥರದ್ದೊಂದು ಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ನು ಯಾವುದರಲ್ಲಿ? ಸೀಲೆಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್. ಇಫ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ, I will explain it later, because you will, when you come to the structural organization in animals, so maybe that is 7th chapter. Soon after a few days later you are going to come to a college completely. ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಓಕೆ, ವರಿಬೇಡ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಇದಿಷ್ಟು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದ್ದರೆ ಸಾಕು, ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ so next we'll observe the properties which are structural properties. So now we will go through this one. In case of body forms, in case of body forms, there is a cylindrical body forms or it may be umbrella shaped body forms, and those body forms are commonly called as zooids. The body forms are commonly called as zooids in coelentrates, and they are of two types. They are of two types. Those are, first one, polyp. Second one, medusa. Polyp and medusa. Here the polyp is having cylindrical tube-like structure. Cylindrical tube-like structure, and the example is hydra. When you write the structure of hydra, you will able to notice that this is a tube-like structure which are formed towards inside through invagination, and there will be a presence of hypostome here and later a substrate attachment. So this is a substrate attachment, and by onwards this there will be a development of tentacles. So these are called as tentacles. But when you see this hydra, actually it shows the presence of structure like this. So you normally higella bardirtira, but actual structure will be like this. The tube like structure which is present, and this it helps in the easy movement of water, and this acts as a mouth, right? So and later excretion will takes place through the body surface. Only food is going to be ingested here, and later on excretion will takes place by the general body surface, and this structure is called as polyp, the type of a body form. And later this forms asexual method of reproduction. These hydra will forms asexual method of reproduction, and there will be a generation of buds. There will be a generation of buds to the outer side, and soon after the development of all the characters and which attains the maturity, they just detaches from the parental body. Illinda detach agutte, and it will come out as a new individual and get attached to the substratum. So ಈ ಥರ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಮ್ಗೆ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, and these type of structures are called as sessile. Polyp are sessile in nature. ಸೆಸೈಲ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಮೀನಿಂಗು ಎಲ್ಲಾದರೂ ಒಂದು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಿರೋವಂಥದ್ದು, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಫ್ ದೇ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಲೋಕೊಮೋಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಒನ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಟು ಅದರ್, ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಶೋ ಮೆನಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್. There will be different forms of locomotion in case of hydra, the coelentrates. How they form locomotion? Say for example, this portion is just considered as a body of the hydra. Okay na? So this portion is considered as a body of hydra, and these fingers are acting like a tentacles, and these tentacles will be there, and they are moving just in the flowing water. There will be a free floating condition for tentacles, and later on what happens to the locomotion process if they want to locomote from one place to other. And consider this as a substratum, and there will be attachment of body, hydra body, to this substratum has been taken place previously, and just by bending its body and adhesing or attachment of its tentacles to the substratum, and it becomes upside down. Artha aita? Upside down, and the substrate attachment region will become upper region, and tentacles are get attached to the substratum now, and they make some movement, one of the type. Or otherwise, just by removing itself the body surface. So this body surface is going to be removed from the substratum, okay, and later on it can move. One of the type is just by rolling itself, itara roll aagta hogutte. Otherwise it may just attaches its tentacles to the substratum and becomes upside down and can move from one place to other. And more other type of locomotory movements will be there, but I just explained only two, okay. So regarding the locomotion, and as it is, they form the attachment to the substratum, so that's why they are said to be sessile, and that type of attached substratum attached type of cylinderates are called as polyps. Here polyp is one of the body form, a zooid called as polyp, which is cylindrical in structure, and the example is hydra. It forms asexual reproduction and exhibit the substrate attachment and is called as a sessile structure. And then now come to the medusa. Medusa. So this exhibit the umbrella like structure, and the example is Aurelia, and this is commonly called as jellyfish. This is commonly called as jellyfish, and it is always moving or free floating or free swimming in nature. Free swimming, and it forms both sexual and asexual method of reproduction. When it comes to the structure, so here there will be a umbrella like structure on the top, and it possesses with the lower corner and there is a presence of mouth at this position of the center. If you consider this as an umbrella, at this position there will be a presence of mouth, and that mouth, surrounding to that mouth, there will be a presence of structures called as arms, and due to the presence of these arms near the mouth, and this will be towards back side, ಅದು ಒಂದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಸೈಡಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಹೇಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ಥರ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಇದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಾಣೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಹಿಂಗೆ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ, ಓಕೆನಾ. ಸೊ ಈ ಥರ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ದ ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ these arms in the region of mouth and are called as oral arms. And later one more structure at the top of the central top of the umbrella like structure. So ಈಗ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನೀಟಾಗಿ, ಓಕೆನಾ. ಸೊ ಬಟ್ ನೀವು ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ನೋಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಸೊ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ there will be a presence of gonads. As it is sexually reproducing structure, they possess a gonads. As like a lion in the ನಾವು ಕಾಯಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಲಯನ್ಸ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ, 3 ಫೇಸ್ ಲಯನ್ಸ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಮಗೆ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಸೈಡಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ನಮಗೆ ಕಾಣೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ವೇ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್. ಹಾಫ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ವಿಸಿಬಲ್, these two lateral position, and one will be towards the back side. So these structures are called as gonads, and which forms the gametes formation, or it helps in gamete formation, and later on the gametes will come out and fuses to form a sexual reproduction. So this is umbrella like structure which is called as a zooid form called as medusa, and it is free swimming. Through the presence of oral arms it makes a swimming process, and then the gonads will be there, it forms the gametogenesis or gamete formation, and later by fusion it will develops into a sexually reproducing structures. So this is regarding the structure of the coelenterate or cnidarians. When it comes to the one more special property, and this is why the reason these are called as cnidarians. ಯಾಕೆ ಅವನ್ನ cnidarians ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಇದು ಒಂದೇ ರೀಸನ್ ಇರೋದು. There is a presence of special type of cells called as cnidoblasts. Cnidoblasts, and these cnidoblasts which possess with the statocysts, stinging cells. So ಇದು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬೇರೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, stinging cells. Stinging cells. So when you consider this hydra, you can find that this has a outermost layer, body wall layer, and is called as ectoderm. Epidermis. Outside region ನಾವು epidermis ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. This is called as epidermis, and innermost layer is called as a gastrodermis, and this innermost layer is called as gastrodermis. Epidermis and gastrodermis. On the outermost layer of epidermis, and also on the top outermost layer of tentacles, there will be a presence of special type of cells which are unique to cnidarians, are called as cnidoblast cells, and these cnidoblast cells helps in ejecting a toxic substance which is just like similar to cobra venom of the cobra. So that's why this is toxic, and for this reason there is no predator attack. ಇದನ್ನ ಬೇರೆ ಆರ್ಗಾನಿಸಮ್ ಕೂಡ ಪ್ರೇ ಆಗಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಂದರೆ ತಿನ್ನೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Like it will be present in the water body, some larger animals will eat this, but the reason is due to the presence of cnidoblast cell on the epidermal wall layer and also on the top of the topmost layer of a tentacles, the cnidoblast cells are spread, and those cnidoblast cell which helps in the release of a toxic substance which just like similar to the cobra venom. So that's why there is no attack of predators, and that helps in defense mechanism. These cnidoblast cell possess stinging cells, and these helps in defense mechanism, ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರಿಡೇಟರ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಬಚಾವ್ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಇರೋ ಅಂಥ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಡಿಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನೀವು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಇದೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಪೋರ್ಚುಗೀಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾರ್. ಅರೀಲಿಯಾ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಅರೀಲಿಯಾನ ನಾವು ಜೆಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿಶ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದಿದೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ಪೋರ್ಚುಗೀಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾರ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕೂಡ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಪೋರ್ಚುಗೀಸ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಪೋರ್ಚುಗೀಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾರ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರೆಯೋ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಇದೆ ಈ ನಿಡೇರಿಯನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಒಂದು ನ್ಯೂರೋ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ನರ್ವಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ಗೆ, ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ನರ್ವಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ಗೆ ಹಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಅಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, which is toxic to humans and the nervous system, which attack on central nervous system of human beings. So that's why the Portuguese use those animals to ಫೈಟ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ಸ್, ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆ ಫೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸೀಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಓಷನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಆನ್ ದ ಕಾರ್ನರ್ ಆಫ್ ದೀಸ್ ಮಲಬಾರ್ ಐಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಹಿಂದೂ ಮಹಾಸಾಗರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಯಾವುದು ಅರಬ್ಬಿ ಸಮುದ್ರ ಈ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಬಾಂಗ್ಲಾ ಬೇ ಆಫ್ ಬೆಂಗಾಲ್ ಆ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ರು ಪೋರ್ಚುಗೀಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಆಗ ಈ ಥರದ ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಯೋ ವಾರ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಪೋರ್ಚುಗೀಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾರ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕೂಡ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So regarding the presence of stinging cells in the nidoblasts which forms the defense system, so that's why it is called as Portuguese man of war. I hope you understood regarding sealant trait. So in detail ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾದರೂ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟೀಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅವನ್ನ ನಿಡೇರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಲೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ಪೋರಿಫೆರನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಲೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನು ನೆಗ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. ನಿಮ್ಗೇನಾದರೂ ಸೀಲೆಂಟ್ ರೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಪಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು, ಏನು ನಿಡೋಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅವನ್ನ ನಿಡೇರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅವು ಡಿಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಸಮಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಪೋರಿಫೆರನ್ಸು ಪೋರಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಹಾಗೆ ಪ್ಲಾಟಿಯಲ್ಮೆಂತಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಫ್ಲೇಮ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಥರ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಯುನೀಕ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನು ನೀವು ನೆನಪಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಅದು ನಿಮಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಮುಂದೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ? ಸೊ ರಿಗಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಸೀಲೆಂಟ್ ರೇಟ್, ಯು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಅಗೈನ್ as it is, which is present on board and which will be helpful to write the notes also. So thank you dear students.